Welcome to my first look at B17 Mighty 8th Redux, which released on Steam in early access a few days ago to a mixed reception. Some people really happy that this game is getting revived and being updated in some way. Other people pretty disappointed with the state that the game was released in, partly because most of the attention has gone to updating the interiors, whereas the exterior visuals are the same as the original game, but also because a lot of the AI behaviors that could loosely be described as bugs in the original game have been carried over into the Redux. My view of the game as it currently stands is negative. There do seem to be a lot of graphical glitches going on, and I really do want Microprose to adjust some of those frustrating AI behaviors that kill the immersion in the game. And we also don't know what Microprose are planning to do, if anything, to update the ground terrain, which is certainly showing its age right now. And here's the thing, after playing a couple of missions in the Redux, I was just kind of left wondering, why are they even doing this? Might have been better to leave the original game as it is and focus their efforts on their new B17 title, the Bloody 100th, which has a Steam page with some screenshots on that look absolutely amazing. And I think this is the game that a lot of B17 fans actually want to see today. In the meantime, let's take a look at the Redux. I'm going to fly a mission and point out some of the issues that I have with the game. So into the ops room, I've already mapped out a mission. I'm going to try and hit a V1 launch site at 0 core, and I've got a secondary target here, a second V1 launch site at Bois de l'Enfer. I'll take some 1,000-pound bombs and 500-pounders as well. Some of these graphics are not yet finished, including the mission summary screen, but that'll be a quick fix, I'm sure. Let's head out of the ops room and into the briefing room, and we can check out one of the minor bugs that is carried over from the original game, which is the ordnance selection. Here it's currently showing the 1,000 pound and 500 pound GP bombs that I selected previously. But if you make any kind of change to the waypoints on the map in the briefing room, what you'll find when you go back to sign off the mission is that the loadout has defaulted to 1,000 pound general purpose and 500 pound semi-armor piercing bombs. So you have to go back to the ops room and change that. Otherwise, you may go out with the wrong ordnance. Let's head out and start the mission.
Start engines.
And it's from here that we can start to see some of the graphical glitches in the game. You can see the shadow of the B17 is shaking as we pan around.
Mixture auto rich.
I do have the graphics set to full detail, but that shouldn't be an issue. Whilst the engines are starting up, we can go inside the plane and check out some of these updated interiors, which look nice, but some of the control levers appear to have been cut off. So here the RPM levers are not visible, and on this screen, which is really important when you play on high difficulty as I am doing, it's really important to be able to see all of the temperature gauges and the other instruments related to the engine. So the manifold pressures have been cut off there at the top. At the bottom we have a bunch of temperature dials that we can't see from this view. That's a shame. You can switch to an alternative view. This is from the co-pilot's chair, and you can kind of see those dials now, but I don't think you can get the temperature readings from them. So I hope this gets updated back to how it was in the original game, where you had all of those dials on one screen. We're taxiing to the runway, and we've got the ground glitching as we move along. That one needs to be sorted out. Now we're in the air. I've got ×4 time compression activated. The bombers have all formed up And on the few missions I've played, I've seen some very strange behaviour as the bombers are forming up. Sometimes they crash into each other, and as we can see here, all of my squadron are beginning to overheat their engines, so the AI doesn't seem to be equipped to manage that, which is a carryover from the original game, I think. And now almost all of the planes are overheating their engines, with the inevitable conclusion that some of the planes begin to break down, and as they drop out of formation, there's a collision. Some crazy physics on the collision there. So I'm going to restart this mission. So here's my second attempt. The bombers have managed to form up and head out over the channel without colliding with each other or killing their engines. But here's another one of the graphical glitches. As I pan around the plane, just look at how juddery the scrolling is. Way worse than in the original game. And I'm moving the mouse quite slowly, but it just judders along. So as part of updating the external visuals that Microprose have committed to do, they need to fix this scrolling. We're now feet dry over France. We've just gone past our decision point, heading towards the initial point for the primary target. Now, when the game released, it did not have the option to check the weather forecasts over the primary or secondary targets, or the option to switch from primary to secondary targets. That has now been fixed, I believe. We've hit the initial point. It's time to do the bomb run. There's a lot of cloud cover over the terrain at the moment, so I'm struggling to get a handle on the drift, but I think it's somewhere between +5 and +10. Now this is a little bit frustrating. The drift scale dial isn't showing me the number that it's currently reading, and it's a really small kind of detection box. And there we go, I've managed to click on it. It's gone a little bit wild, so I've just sent it up to -10 on the scale. I'm just using the joystick now to refine that down to about -8. Looking down the bomb site now, trying to find the target. I do like what they've done with the sound effects of the flak as it hits the plane. The bombardier is definitely not locked on the target at the moment, but that's okay. The bombardier is relatively inexperienced, so I'm going to have a look around, try and find the target. And there it is, just a patch of ground we can see there. That's a V1 launch site, so we'll lock on there. I'm drifting to the right a little bit, so I'm going to correct for that. We've got bandits incoming at the moment, but I'm just going to ignore those. As we get closer to the target, cloud cover is preventing me from seeing it, but I'm locked on now again. And this time my drift is looking good. I'm staying fairly stable on the target. Just going to reposition a little bit. Cloud has cleared, so got good visibility over the target, and I've just paused the footage there. As the bombs are being released, we can see my crosshair is probably just slightly above the midpoint of the target area. Let's see how we did at ground level, and we've missed by quite some margin, which I'm a bit confused about. I'm not sure if there's a bug in the game here, where the bombs fall at a different spot to where you've actually aimed, or whether I've done something wrong with the targeting there. Not sure, not conclusive. Need to do some more tests, but a bit surprised with that outcome of missing the target by that much. Back to the bombers now, and it's time for everyone's favourite bug in this game, collisions. There goes a bandit into a B17, which then cascades into two other B17s. There's another bandit heading in right now. And there goes another bomber. Now, I think we all accept the occasional collision, but they happen far too frequently in this game, and I hope Microprose can tweak the AI to root it out. We've RTB'd after the bomb drop, cruising at just under 10,000 feet, and there's something odd going on with the cloud layer. That definitely needs fixing. And then another legacy bug as we are preparing to land is the AI failing to manage the engine heat properly. You can see most of the planes there got plumes of black smoke coming out of the engines. This is only an issue when playing on high difficulty, but nevertheless I think it should be fixed. Once the engines overheat by too much, it is game over. Back to the briefing room, and there's one other legacy bug that we can look at. Distance flown showing as 0 miles. Again, just another little bug that spoils the immersion factor of this game. Interestingly, the bomb damage estimate says moderate, whereas I didn't think we actually hit the target by that much. Lots of crew died. And here is the bomb damage assessment. All my bombs went to the south side of the target. It looks like we did hit a few of the assets of the target site, but I'm not sure if there's a bug there or not on the bomb aiming. No promotions awarded. I wouldn't have expected any, but it would be nice if Microprose could introduce promotions in the game, because that was also not working in the original game. So there we go. Those are my first impressions playing the game a couple of days after it released on Steam. Let me know what you think, and many thanks for watching.